Before we turn attention to the equity space, just some quick comment on the currency itself. I was saying that there seems to be no reaction at all to the comments given by the central bank this week that the shilling will rediscover its path consistent with fundamentals. What's your outlook for the local unit?
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Alishia. The shilling has waned over the past few weeks against the dollar, and there have been concerns regarding whether this trend may persist, maybe to even the all-time high recorded about 5 years ago at 83 Kenya shillings to the dollar. We have, as you said, the central bank reassure us that the Kenya shilling weakens against international forces, and the fundamentals actually remain the same. And internal dynamics also in the country remain the same. And what is more important maybe for anyone looking at the quote, the price quote, is to note that the result, it's a result of the Eurozone's debt crisis in Greece and the recent debt deficit in Hungary. So we should not really be too worried about it. As you see, the euro has also weakened to the shilling, so there's an inverse relationship among those two pairs. And going forward, I think it's a time we might see a recovery back to the 80 and below shilling mark.
For now, with the shilling sitting at weaker levels, it's certainly good news for exporters, and coming at a time where we've heard the central bank as well say that it's growth that's primarily its concern at the moment and not inflation. So the good news coming to the fore for the country's exporters?
Yes, it's good news indeed. And again, going back to the issue of the greenback against the Kenya shilling, we have importers, especially of commodities, banking now on the dollar, going in strong because they can look to capitalize on a further dip against the dollar, that is of the shilling. And moving forward, I guess it will play to their advantage if the shilling continues to weaken. As for the economic growth, we've seen the new revised formula for the inflation rates having us at 3.6, 3.7, down from the 14.6 plus. So I think Kenya is still on a positive track, at least to economic recovery.
Well, certainly we've got some of these agricultural plays staging nice rebounds. It was just yesterday that Sanusi broke that upward trend, down 1 1/3%. But Kakuzi rallied 4 1/4%. Rio Vipingo was up over 3%, and Williamson Tea managed a 10% gain as well. So with that in mind, how are you playing some of these agricultural players at this stage?
And these gains are not surprising, really. And we've had the first half of this year mainly go to the agricultural sector. They're really doing well. We've had tea production at an all-time 5-year high. We've had a recovery from the 2-year drought period, which we suffered. We've also had positive results from the sugar industry. As for the stocks in the bourse, we have Sanusi, which actually rallied about 2 months ago from close to 6-8 shillings. Now it's trading at 14 shillings. And going forward, I think the sector has the lowest PE on the bourse. If you look at the sectoral PE, it's 5.3. And I guess it's any investor's wish to get into the agricultural stocks now and maybe look to capitalize on gains after the results are fully realized by the end of the year.
Well, certainly some had been holding the view that many of these players were oversold in the first place. Let's take a look now at Centum. We saw the company reporting annual pre-tax profit up 149% yesterday, and certainly the reaction in terms of movement on that share price seeming to be positive. Just looking at this company, we've heard before that if you want a piece of a little bit of everything good listed on the NSE, you should be vying for a piece of Centum. Do you hold that view?
That may be a bit too optimistic, but I would say you would have to have a piece of the financial stocks. And Centum really is one of the most stable stocks. It doesn't move much. But then again, for any investor looking to make capital gain, they would want a stock that is volatile, that changes is volatile, but is positively volatile, meaning it changes positively. And with centum, we've seen it hit a snag at between 18 shillings, 20 shillings. So someone who is looking to speculate in the short may not want to get in now. Though, as you said, the results were positive, pre-tax profit up. We've also had talks of a bonus issue subject to approval. And I think centum, like any other stock in the financials, is a stock to buy.
Well, they're certainly boasting a strong portfolio, a growing portfolio, that portfolio having grown 58%. Where are the gems in that portfolio as you see it?
Well, one thing we also must notice is that we are talking of a company that not only is in good profitability, we also remember that they recently sold part of their stake in the RVR, so it's more liquid. They're $4.5 million more liquid, and we are looking at a company which has some money in its purse to spend. And as an investment company, this is quite a good thing, and it actually beckons good prospects for the future.
Well, just taking a look at that, of course, the company has announced that it sold its 10% stake in the concession running the Kenya-Uganda Railway, as Robert highlighted, for $4.5 million. And certainly the market at this stage seeing that as a good move. Moving forward, looking to the day ahead, Robert, what are you keeping your eye on?
Well, we are in the financial calendar. This is a critical week for the country. We have the budget being read tomorrow. This could, people are standby to hear what maybe the finance minister has to offer. People are also standby to know what direction our economy is headed. What bag of goodies he has in store for us this time. Looking at the NSE, I would say we've seen a fairly stable index, though the 20 index may not be the best indicator. We could look at the all-share index, which has also been fairly consistent over the 90-point mark. And I guess what we should see here is further stability, and maybe we would see for the indices stabilize at points higher. And as for the stocks, we expect them to continue doing better. We have seen turnover increase. We've seen volumes traded of the major movers increase. And also political risk is down as we head to the referendum. And I think the prospects are more bullish than ever. And I think it's an investor's market.